Well, hello and welcome to Footprints Today. We've got a very fishy session planned for you today.
So I hope that you're ready to listen and ready to think about today's story and get involved in the cooking activity that we've got later on. And we've also got a craft today, so I hope that you're going to enjoy.
But first, let's do a song, alive, telling God how happy we are to have him in our lives.
My hands are clapping, my fingers stretching high. My arms are driving, my hands high-fiving, reaching for the sky. My heart is pumping, my lungs are pumping, till I make a joyful sound. Yeah! My feet are moving, my hips are moving, as I dance around and around. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, that I'm alive. Praise the Creator who lives in me. I'm alive, I am free. To praise the Creator who lives in me. Whoa, he lives in me. And he died for me. Toes are tapping, my hands are clapping, my fingers stretching high. My hands are jiving, my hands are high-fiving, reaching for the sky. My heart are pumping, my lungs are pumping, I make a joyful sound. Yeah! My feet are moving, my hips are moving, as I dance around and around. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, that I'm alive. I am free to praise the Creator who lives in me. I'm alive. I am free to praise the Creator who lives in me. Whoa, he lives in me. And he died for me. Lord, you are so good. You gave your life for me. Everything I have and all I'll ever be, I give to you. I give my life to you, 'cause I'm alive. I am free. Praise the Creator who lives in me. I'm alive and I am free to praise the Creator who lives in me. Oh, I'm alive. I am free. Praise the Creator who lives in me. I'm alive, I am free, free. To praise the Creator who lives in me. Whoa, he died for me, and he died for me, and he died for me. He lives in me.
So it is now time for our birthdays, as you can see
By the
from
hats.
our hats
Exactly.
and the glasses.
Whose birthday is it this week?
This week it is Samuel's
Oh.
birthday. He's going to have a birthday on Friday, I believe it is, if I've been looking at my calendar correctly. And if my maths is correct, he's going to be 6 years
6.
old.
I see.
The grand old age of 6.
Samuel, can I play your trumpet?
I wonder what you
Pardon?
think, Samuel.
I think
you say
said
yes?
yes. I think he said
Yes.
yes. Okay.
Okay,
Here it is.
let's try.
Ready? Let's sing the song. Singing with us, please.
B-I-R-T-H-D-A-Y. B-I-R-T-H-D-A-Y. Oh, sing along. Happy birthday to you. Sing it soft, sing it loud, sing it just for you. Oh, sing along. Happy birthday to you. May Jesus be with you all day through.
Samuel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
May Jesus be with you all year through. Give Samuel a big round of applause. I have not got a clue what that sounded like because the trumpet is not
It's
exactly
two-note trumpet, isn't it?
tuneful. I think, we might end up donating that trumpet to Samuel.
I hope you have a
for the
wonderful
last 2
day
years.
anyway, Samuel.
Yeah. Okay.
And now, because it's a fishy day, we're going to have a craft
Oh,
where
yes.
Val will demonstrate a fishy
Fishy
craft, a criffy fast.
And then Phil is going to give us today's story and
Okay.
tell us his thoughts.
Good. See you soon.
Today we're going to be making a fish craft. We will need a paper plate, or if you haven't got a paper plate, a piece of circular piece of paper or card. You want some scissors, a glue stick, or some tape, and googly eyes, or if you haven't got googly eyes, piece of card that you can draw on to make an eye. You also want some coloured paper or crayons, pens or paint to decorate the plate with when you've finished making the fish. So we will take the paper plate and cut a section out of it, and then turn that section round and stick it onto the opposite side of the plate to make the fish's tail. You can then decorate our fish with whatever you've got to hand. You can colour it, stick things on it, or paint it. Just have fun putting some different things on the fish. So have fun decorating your fish, and it should help you to remember today's story. If you want to, you can put a little bit of cord or string on it to hang it up so that other people can see it easily. Anyway, have fun.
Hi everybody. Today I'm going to tell you a great story from Luke's Gospel. And this story is great for many reasons, but one of the reasons is that it's totally unexpected. There's things in it that you just didn't expect to happen. And it could be that your favorite stories have that element as well. Many do. I don't know what your favorite story is. Maybe it's Harry Potter. And it's certainly unexpected that a little boy living under the stairs in a cupboard turns out to be a wizard. You didn't see that coming. Maybe your story, your favorite story, is The Ugly Duckling. You don't really expect an ugly duckling to actually turn out to be a beautiful swan. Maybe your favorite story is Charlotte's Web. Maybe you don't even read that anymore, but when I was a child, it was one of my favorite stories. And that one, a pig called Wilbur becomes friends with a spider called Charlotte. That's unexpected. Or maybe you just like Paddington. You don't expect a bear from darkest Peru, don't even think there's bears in Peru, but you don't expect him to love marmalade and have adventures. It's all unexpected. Great stories. So let's read about an unexpected thing that happened to Jesus and his followers. Before I do that, let me show you where it takes place. This is the Sea of Galilee. There it is, very beautiful. And it's a lake, but it's not just a little lake like one of our ones in Egham. It's very big, and the winds can grow up, and there's Jesus many adventures on the Sea of Galilee. Beautiful part of northern Italy, northern Israel. What's wrong with me? So let's read the story. This is Luke chapter 5, verses 1 to 11 from the Message. Once, when Jesus was standing on the shore of Lake Gennesaret, which is also called Lake Galilee, the crowd was pushing in on him to better hear the word of God. He noticed 2 boats tied up. The fishermen had just left them and were out scrubbing their nets. He climbed into the boat that was Simon's and asked him to push out a little bit from the shore. Sitting there, using the boat for a pulpit, he taught the crowd. When he finished teaching, he said to Simon, "Push out into the deep water and let your nets out for a catch." Simon said, "Master, we've been fishing hard all night and haven't caught even a minnow. But if you say so, I'll let out the nets." It was no sooner said than done. A huge haul of fish, straining the nets past capacity. They waved to their partners in the other boat to come help them. They filled both boats, nearly swamping them with the catch. Simon Peter, when he saw it, fell to his knees before Jesus. "Master, leave. I'm a sinner and can't handle this holiness. Leave me to myself." When they pulled in the catch of fish, awe overwhelmed Simon and everyone with him. It was the same with James and John, Zebedee's sons, co-workers with Simon. Jesus said to Simon, "There is nothing to fear. From now on, you'll be fishing for men and women." They pulled their boats up on the beach, left them, nets and all, and followed him. Now, isn't that a great story? There's a few things you didn't see coming. For you older ones, let me start off with the part that I love as a scientist, is that Jesus was a scientist and embraced technology, for sure. How do I know that? He used a boat, modern kind of invention. It's a tool. And he knew that if he was out there, he'd be safe and secure from the crowd, but the acoustics would make it so they could all hear him and he could preach without yelling. Clever man, of course. But that's not the unexpected part. I just thought I'd share that extra little tidbit. So here's the messages you can get from this. The first is that Jesus does not mess around. He's only met these folks. He wants them to be his followers. So he starts with a big, bold miracle. So many fish that he's almost sunk the 2 boats. There's no messing around for Jesus. Here's the second point. And some of you children might have experienced this already, is when Jesus calls you, he really calls you. He never forces you. He doesn't demand, but when he calls you, you know it. Let me tell you, these 3 followers knew that Jesus was calling them, and what did they do? They dropped everything and followed him. So that's the biggest unexpected bit. They did not expect to catch so many fish. More to the point, they did not expect to dump everything and change their lives and go follow Jesus. There's a last thing I like about this story, and that's that it's a living parable. Often Jesus talks in parables, and we've told you many of them. But this is a living parable because they are fishermen, and then he says, "You will be fishers of men and women." So they were living the parable to really understand what they're going to go do. Really clever. One more thing I like about it, and you'll all love this, is he does say the words, there is nothing to fear. Very important. Let's just hold that with us. There is nothing to fear. Unexpected stories, Jesus calling us, but there's nothing to fear. Thanks, everybody.
We're now going to do the song My Lighthouse, the one with the lighthouse.
And you may remember it from Adventure Cruise, and it's a little while since we've done it, Robin.
I've probably forgotten it, but we'll try again. Here we go.
In my wrestling and in my doubts, in my failures you won't walk out. Your great love will lead me through. You are at peace in the troubled sea. Oh, you are at peace in the troubled sea. In the silence you won't let go. In my questions your truth will hold. Your great love will lead me through. You are at peace in the troubled sea. Whoa, you are at peace in the troubled sea. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. My lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore. I won't fear what tomorrow brings. With each morning I'll rise and sing. Your God's love will lead me through. You are at peace in the troubled sea. Whoa, you are at peace in my troubled sea. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. My lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore. Before me, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storm. Far before us, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storm. Far before us, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storm. Far before us, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storm. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. My lighthouse, I will trust the promise.
Thank you, Phil, for telling us this week's story and giving us your thoughts on this story. If we were meeting together, Robin, we'd all be having a chat.
Yes,
yeah?
exactly. We'd be asking them questions.
Yeah, and we'd be chatting about what you thought about the story, why it's important to be there, and what we can learn about it. So have a chat with your parents, maybe your brothers or sisters, but we're going to give you a few questions which maybe would help you get the conversation
Get you
going.
thinking, get
Yeah.
you discussing, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one is, have you ever been fishing by the seashore? Maybe catching crabs off the sea wall? Describe what you would see and hear, including what you can smell. Can you smell the fishiness?
Yeah, might be fish and chip shops they can smell, I just don't know. It might be interesting. Peter and the fisherman, or Simon is his other, well, Simon he's usually called, but we also call him Peter, so sometimes it gets a bit confusing, had been fishing all night and they caught nothing. So I wonder how they would be feeling after an unsuccessful night's fishing. How would you be feeling if you'd been out all night and caught nothing?
Especially when you rely on that fish to sell for your living. That's what you make your money.
Yeah.
If you don't have any fish, you don't make money and you don't eat.
Yeah.
Why do you think that Peter, or Simon Peter, was prepared to lend his boat to Jesus? His most important possession, I'd wager.
Yeah.
He's just going to lend it to this strange person he's never met.
I wonder if maybe he'd heard stuff about Jesus
He
before.
might have done.
I wonder. But would you let out your most prized possession to someone you hardly knew? I wonder.
A stranger walking along the seashore.
So, what was it about Jesus that persuaded Simon Peter to have another go at fishing that day? They'd already been out all night. Did he really want to go out again? What was it about Jesus that persuaded him to try again?
Don't know. Up to you, isn't it? Have a think. Well, how about Simon's reaction to Jesus after they'd caught all that fish? He must have been surprised, to say the least.
Yeah, but look at what he said to Jesus and try and discuss about why he said what he said. So at the end, almost at the end of the story, Jesus says to the fisherman, "Come, follow me." Would you just leave everything behind and follow someone if they said, "Come, follow me"? They had just seen a miracle. But I wonder what it was exactly about Jesus that persuaded them they could leave everything behind, just get up, leave their nets, leave their boats, and just go and follow him. Would you be prepared to do that?
In the Bible, there's another version of this story in Matthew's Gospel. It's Matthew chapter 4, verses 17 to 22. Ask your parents to read it with you. Perhaps you would like to compare the two versions.
I'm going to be sending out some material in an email which actually uses the Matthew version. So see if you can get your parents to print it off for you and go through some of the activities in that.
Is it a song?
I think it is a song. It's quite an old song, this one.
It is, but we do sing it whenever we do this story. So
And I'm sure your parents can join in with you as well, and there's a few actions to do.
Peter and James and John in a sailboat. Peter and James and John in a sailboat. Peter and James and John in a sailboat. Out on the beautiful sea. They fished all night and they caught nothing. They fished all night and they caught nothing. Fished all night and they caught nothing. Down on the beautiful sea. Along came Jesus walking on the seashore. Along came Jesus walking on the seashore. Along came Jesus walking on the seashore. Out on the beautiful sea. Cast your nets on the other side. Cast your nets on the other side. Cast your nets on the other side. Out on the beautiful sea. Up came the nets with great big fishes. Up came the nets with great big fishes. Up came the nets with great big fishes. Out on the beautiful sea.
So
don't forget to listen to Jesus. Don't forget to listen to Jesus. Don't forget to listen to Jesus wherever you may be. Hope you enjoyed singing along with that song. Well, we promised you a fishy food activity, so we're now going to see Ilaria and Eleanor demonstrate how to make a rather delicious tuna melt sandwich.
Hello, today we will be making the ultimate tuna melt sandwich. The ingredients are red onions, tuna, grated cheese, lemon juice, mayonnaise, salt, pepper, butter and bread. Okay, so the first step is get your onions, have a saucepan out ready and just pour them in and let them soften for around about 4 to 5 minutes. Get this tuna bowl, pour it in to the bowl and then stir it around a bit. Okay, so now we need to add the cheese, the lemon juice, and the mayonnaise. We need to add the salt and pepper, so just sprinkle a little bit on. And then some pepper. We'll stir this all together. Once the onions have softened, what you should do is let them cool down for a bit and then add them in. You may want an adult to help you when you're pouring in the onions. Now you need to mix in the onions. Next you butter the bread. Okay, so now make sure your pan is warm, then place a piece of bread on it, butter side down. Okay, so now we add the mixture. Onto the bread. It's gone a bit crazy, but that doesn't really matter. We add this so that the butter is facing the sky. And then get a plate to weigh it down and put a can on top. After about 4 to 5 minutes, remove the tin and plate very carefully. You may want an adult to help you with this bit, and you need to try and get the bread and slightly just turn it over. After 3 or 4 minutes, your sandwich will be ready to eat. Voila! Now enjoy!
As you can see, here is a paper boat. I'm going to attempt to show you how to make a paper boat. I can't guarantee this is going to be 100% successful. The first thing you need to do is to fold the piece of paper that way. It's an A4 piece of paper, but I suppose you could make it bigger if you wanted to. Open it out, fold it the other way. Then, having the fold along the top, you take this corner and you fold it down there, just so it reaches that crease line that you made earlier. You then take the other side and fold it down there as well. There. So now you've got this sort of shape. You'll have at the bottom two bits. You can see that one bit there and another bit underneath. I'm just going to fold that corner out of the way, and the same on this side, and then I'm going to just fold it up over there. Take the boat the other side and do that one there. Try and make the creases quite sharp. Now what you need to do is to pick up your boat. You need to grab these middle bits and turn it so you've got sort of kite shape, I suppose it is. Just try and make sure those corners line up and make the creases quite sharp. So there, looks a bit sort of kite-ish, do you think? Now you take this corner and fold it up there. Turn it over and take that corner and fold it up. You've got that sort of shape. Hope you can see that. And now what you need to do is to sort of pull it. This is the tricky bit. Keep pulling, and then you kind of have to bend that bit down as you pull it apart and make a crease along there, and then do the same on the other side. Make a crease along there, and then you should have something that looks a little bit like a boat. I'm sure if it's hard to follow my instructions, your parents might be able to find you something on YouTube to follow their instructions. So there is our boat.
So now we've got our little boat. If you put it on the table, and let's pretend that the boat's actually in the Sea of Galilee. And if you've got a pipe cleaner, you can make it into a little pipe cleaner man, a bit like this. Or maybe you could use Lego, if you've got a Lego man. And pop him in the boat. That could be you in the boat on the sea. And over here, I have another pipe cleaner man. We'll put him just here. That's Jesus on the shore. So you can see Jesus from your boat. Jesus told the fishermen not to be afraid. I suspect he was saying, don't be scared to leave everything behind you. But maybe there were other things that they were frightened of. Maybe there are other things they were scared of or worried of. Perhaps you, in your boat, could talk to Jesus on the shore. Tell him about anything that you're not sure about, anything that you're a bit worried about. Let's just do that quietly now. Now, having told Jesus all about the things you're worried about, you can leave your boat, go to the seashore and follow him.
So here is our next prayer activity. I've just taken a strip of paper. It can be blue, it could be another colour, but we're going to be making a fish out of it. And I folded it in half without making a crease. And then just near the end, I have snipped, don't know if you can see it, I've snipped there on the bit at the front. And then the bit behind, I've snipped at the bottom. So that bit's got a snip at the top, the bit you can't see, it's got a snip at the bottom. And then those two bits should slot together like that. Now make a sort of fishy shape. Can you see that? I'm actually going to just decorate these a little bit. I'm going to put an orange eye on that side and an orange eye on the other side. And you could put fish scales on them, you could put some shiny bits on them, anything you like to make them look more fishy. I'm just doing mine really quickly. I'll show you, see if you can see that. Does that look any more fish-like? Not sure. I'm just going to open it up, and on the inside I'm going to write the name of somebody that I would like to invite to follow Jesus. You can think of people that you know that you would like to invite follow Jesus, whether you might like to ask them to watch some of our footprint sessions. When we're back meeting together, you might like to invite them to come along to one of our sessions. So I'm just going to write the name of someone here. I'm then going to put my fish back together. There we are. And maybe you could do some exciting things. I'm going to take my fish and hopefully, probably can't see it at the moment, but hopefully it's just going to twizzle to the floor.
It did.
Did you see that? Can I do it once more? There. Well, this one came to land on me.
Works
Landed
quite
on
well.
me. Yeah.
It's a good twizzler.
So you can make some fishes and on them write the names of people whom you would like to follow Jesus. Maybe at the moment you're not a follower, you're still a little bit unsure. So maybe you could write your own name on there saying, Jesus, please help me to follow you. But we're going to finish our prayer
Finish
activity
with a prayer. So
prayer.
pray with me now. Dear God, you are so great and everything about you is good. And I know that you don't want any harm to come to me. Thank you that you call me to follow you. Help me to follow you just like the fisherman did. Help me to be brave and as well as following you to invite others to follow you too. Amen.
Amen. So that's just about the end of our session now, but we're going to sing another song in just a moment, which reminds us that Jesus is the King over everything. And because he is King of everything, all sorts of things obey him. He is the one to be obeyed. So until next week.
God bless. And we'll see you all in a week.
Yeah. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Jesus is the King, ruler over everything. Jesus is the one, promised one, the Son of God. Jesus is the Lord, he's the one we can't ignore. Jesus, Jesus, he is the King. He is the King. He commanded the fishermen, hey, come follow me. And they did, and they did, and they did, because Jesus is the King, ruler over everything. Jesus is the one, promised one, the Son of God. Jesus is the Lord, he's the one you can't ignore. Jesus, Jesus, he is the King. He is the King. He commanded the evil ones, hey, come out of him. And they did, and they did, and they did, because Jesus is the King, ruler over everything. Jesus is the one, promised one, the Son of God. Jesus is the Lord, he's the one you can't ignore. Jesus, Jesus, he is the King. He commanded the wind and waves, hey, be still, be still. And they did, they did, because Jesus is the King, ruler over everything. Jesus is the one, promised from the Son of God. Jesus is the Lord, He's the one you can't ignore. Jesus, Jesus, He is the King. He is the King. He promised that 3 days after death He'd rise again. And He did. And He did. And He did. Because Jesus is the King, ruler over everything. Jesus is the one, promised one, the Son of God. Jesus is the Lord, He's the one you can't ignore. Jesus, Jesus, He is the Jesus is the King, ruler over everything. Jesus is the one, promised one, the Son of God. Jesus is the Lord, He's the one you can't ignore.